Good morning, friends. I'm Ashish Agarwal, founder of NGO Enabler, and today we will take forward our previous video on the topic how the taxman tracks you. So from our previous video, you must have got a basic idea that in current scenario, the income tax department is well informed about the transactions you are involved into during the year through the statements that needs to be filed by certain category of persons. But are you aware how it actually happens? Which transactions are being reported and where you can get a reflection of the same? So let us discuss. Under section 285BA read with rule 114E, I repeat, under section 285BA read with rule 114E of the Income Tax Act and rules, it is mandatory for certain specified persons to furnish the statement of specified financial transactions which are popularly known as high value transactions in form 61A. Such statement has to be submitted annually to the income tax authority or such other specified authority as notified. It has to be filed on or before 31st May of the immediately following financial year in which such transactions are registered or recorded. Such specified reporting persons include banking company, non-banking financial companies, Inspector General or Sub-Registrar under the Registration Act 1908, trustee of the mutual fund, the company issuing shares or debentures, or any institution issuing credit card, and so on. So now let's have a look at the list of such specified financial transactions which are reported and are relevant to NGOs. So let's discuss. I think it's around 15 such transactions which are relevant to NGOs. So cash deposits in one or more bank accounts of a person including current account, new term deposits, which means renewal of existing deposits are not included, cash purchase of bank drafts or pay orders or banker's check, cash purchase of prepaid instruments like credit cards, buying mutual funds, shares, bonds or debentures, buying foreign currency through traveler's check. So in case of these 6 transactions, the threshold limit for reporting is rupees 10 lakhs or more in a financial year. So the transactions which I discussed have a limit of rupees 10 lakhs or more in a financial year. Then comes the purchase and sale of immovable property above rupees 30 lakhs per transaction. I repeat, it is neither a days limit nor an annual limit. It is a limit which is given per transaction. So purchase or sale of immovable property above rupees 30 lakhs per transaction is reportable to the concerned authorities. Apart from what we discussed now, the scope of such specified financial transactions were widened recently on 13th August 2020 when our Honorable Prime Minister launched the Transparent Taxation Platform. So henceforth, even the following transactions shall also come within the purview of reportable transactions by the specified entities. So let's discuss these transactions, and they are very much relevant for NGOs. Payment of educational fee or donation above rupees 1 lakh per annum. Electricity consumption above rupees 1 lakh per annum. Payment to hotels above rupees 20,000. Deposits or credits in current account above rupees 50 lakhs. Deposits or credits in non-current account which include savings account also above rupees 25 lakhs. So now in case of NGOs, it could be donations or advances even within the units or outside the organizations which might increase the given thresholds of 50 lakhs for a current account and 25 lakhs for a non-current account. Payment of property tax above rupees 20,000 per annum. Payment of life insurance premium above rupees 50,000 and health insurance premium above rupees 20,000 per annum. Payment of jewelry, marbles, painting, and there are many more such goods which are included above rupees 1 lakh. So all in all, around 15 such transactions are covered which are relevant for NGOs, since they too enter into such transactions, and usually the threshold limit crosses in most of these cases. So once you enter into any of the above transactions beyond the specified threshold limit, such transactions get automatically reported to the income tax authorities. And do you want to know why? It is a mandate for the entities or persons with whom the transaction is entered into to file a statement reporting the details of such transactions, and this is where the concerned income tax authority easily tracks you. So I repeat, it is a mandate for the entities or persons with whom you have entered into such transaction to file a statement reporting the details of such transactions, and this is where the concerned income tax authorities easily tracks you. These transactions, so reported, are compiled and recorded in the annual information return filed by such entities, and can also be found in Part E of your organization's or your individual's Form 26AS under the AIR section. The tax department compares this report with the returns filed by you or your organization. In case of any non-disclosure, misreporting or mismatch, you might be called for further investigation and assessment. So I repeat again, because it was a very important point. These transactions are reported and compiled and recorded in the annual information returns of such entities, and can also be found in Part E of your Form 26AS under the AIR section. The tax department compares this report with the return filed by you or your organization, and in case of any non-disclosure, misreporting or mismatch, you might be called for further investigation and assessment. So before entering into any such transactions, be aware that the income tax authorities might already have a trace about it, and if you do not give proper disclosures wherever required in your income tax return, or your financials as per tax records doesn't support the volume of such transactions, you might land in trouble with the department. To know more, visit our website or log into our Facebook page, and you can also go through our newsletter released on the website, and for any query you can mail us or comment below. Thank you.